So seamless paper can get dirty, torn, or wrinkled in just a couple of uses. Rather than having to cut that paper after each shoot, well, there's a couple of ways that you can clean all that up in Photoshop. In today's video, I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can clean up your backdrop paper in Photoshop. And it might even save you some money. Coming up. Hey everybody, this is Charles Cabrera, helping you get started with Photoshop, Lightroom, and photography. If you like short and easy tutorials, please consider subscribing and hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything. Let's get started. So with this photo here, this floor actually looks worse than it is right here because of the flash. It kind of whited out any of the smudges and dirt that's on the floor right now. But we're going to preserve this shadow here. See the shadow down here? So with this technique, we should be able to keep the shadow. So what I'm going to do first is make a copy of the background layer, Command J, and come up here to Filter, Noise, Median. So right away when you see what median does, it distorts the floor down there. This can be, say something looks like around 43 or so in this case. And I'm going to say okay. And I'm going to put a black layer mask by holding down Alt and clicking on the Add Layer Mask icon. And then I'm going to make sure that my foreground color is white. B for the brush tool. And with a soft brush, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Come down here, and as you can see, it's already taking that dirt away. And see the shadow, it's not even bothering the shadow at all. And so I'm just going to make my brush smaller here with my left and right bracket. And as you can see, I did get a little bit on that heel right there, but if I hit the X key and make my brush black, I can bring that back. Click X to continue paint with white. And I can get fairly close, and like I say, if I get too close and get some of the white that goes on to the subject, I can change my brush to black and paint over it. So here we go. I'm just painting in this area, making sure that I get everything. And I'm going to change my brush to black. And I got a little bit right there. This is before and this is after. It's cleaned up my floor, but I still have the shadow down there. Like I say, this looked a lot worse before I took the photo. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to have to cut that paper, it's just too dirty, but here you can do it in post. Okay, so in this image, I want to maintain everything you see about that background as far as the shading and the light. I just want to get rid of some of these wrinkles and the dirt spots on the floor, but I want to maintain everything else. So first thing I want to do is duplicate the background, Command J, and then I'm going to use the Lasso Tool to make a selection, and I'm purposely staying away from the edges too much. Reason I'm doing this is I want to take the subject out of the background so that I can do a little bit work on the background itself, getting some of the wrinkles and spots out. So now I'm going to come up here to Edit, Fill, and I'm going to select Content Aware and make sure that color adaptation is checked, and make sure the blending mode is normal and opacity is 100. Say OK, and Photoshop is going to do its best to remove the subject from that background. And I'm going to say Command D to deselect all that. And I'm going to use the patch tool because I want to get some of these dark spots out. I don't need to be perfect on this because, like I say, I want to maintain a lot of the dark spots here in basically the same area that they're in. So I'm just right across from any of these shaded areas and make it a little bit lighter. And I don't need to make this perfect. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to make this layer here a smart object. So if I right click and say convert to smart object, because I'm going to use the Gaussian blur here in case I want to go back and change it. So if I come with the filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and if I change this all the way up to where I want to get rid of a lot of this stuff, just blurring it to get rid of the dirt on the background, on the floor, and some of the wrinkles on the back of the backdrop, and say okay. And I'm going to rename this BG. I'm going to make a copy of the background layer, and I'm going to call this subject, and I'm going to move it up here to the top. And this time I'm going to use the object selection tool. It's new to Photoshop, and get my selection, and there's a couple ways that you can refine that, but I'm just going to use the quick selection tool down here to get around the bottom of the tennis shoes. That's good. Now I'm going to create a layer mask with a new layer mask icon, and now with a white brush, let me zoom in here on the layer mask of the subject. I'm going to paint white, B for the brush tool, and bring in some of the areas that the object selection tool did not bring in. That was a little bit up in his hair, right around the pants there, and down here where the shoes are. You can see that's bringing in a little bit. There's some areas down here, right around the bottom of the shoe that we can bring in. And that's pretty good. Just want to make sure we had this detail down here because we're going to bring in some shadows in a minute here. So now I'm going to duplicate the subject layer, Command J, and I'm going to delete this layer mask. And I'm going to add a black layer mask by holding Alt Option, clicking on the Add Layer Mask icon. And what I'm going to use this for is to paint back some of the shadow. So with the brush, B for brush tool, make sure that my color is white that I'm painting with, and I'm going to come down here and paint in some of the shadow in this area. And if that was a little bit too much back there, which I think it was, I'll hit the eraser tool and just erase some of it away. If I turn all these off, that's the way it did look. It's kind of a guide for me, and I can bring down the opacity on that a little bit on those shadows in case it's too dark. And now since we made that really smooth and everything, I think we need to add in a little noise. So I'm going to create a new layer and come up here to Edit, Fill, and add 50% gray to that and change the blend mode to overlay. And now I can come up here to Filter, Noise, Add Noise, and 3 is probably good enough right there, and say okay. So now I preserve some of those shadows back there and smoothed out the background and the floor. So here's another example, as if I had made the background almost completely gray, and I just down here gently brought in the shadows. So I could have done that too, but I want to preserve as much as possible. So now to the question of the day. Which of these techniques did you find helpful? Let me know in the comments below. If this video was helpful, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. If you want more short and easy tutorials, see the ones above. And remember, it's never too late to learn. See you in the next video.